5 seconds remaining. HellRaisers, turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. HellRaisers, turn to ban. OGs, turn to ban.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 2 of OG versus HellRaisers. OG sitting near the top of Group B at 5-2. HellRaisers, well, near the bottom at 1-4 and desperate for a win. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Lumi. Lumi, Game 1 was just clinical. OG just seemed to be playing on a different level from HR. HR, they had a clear strategy. It seemed like the execution was going okay early, and then everything just unraveled.
This really reminds me of the game earlier against Execration, where they had a strategy that they needed to execute almost to perfection, and they couldn't. So I don't know if there's something going on in the team chemistry, or whether it was a draft that they weren't normally very familiar with. But I think it's time to go back to the basics. I think if they try to do anything again too fancy against OG, they're gonna just get thwomped or thwacked.
Or any sort of sound. So how's the draft going to unfold? It's a first overall pick, Night Stalker for HR. Interesting, I think, to mention is that the Lich is largely being ignored. The IO is sitting out there. There's definitely some premier picks that are still on the table. Of course, if they want to go more with their staples, the Fly Phoenix is available. As for Jerax, well, his Nyx got banned this time, but I mean, there's always things like Sand Cane as a suitable replacement. They mix it up, though. It looks like. Oh, your game is way ahead of mine for some reason. But yeah, they go Wyvern Slardar, so that is a real curveball. Slardar is not a very popular pick nowadays.
Yeah, when it comes to the 4 position supports, it's all about racing towards the runes, and Slardar is one of the best heroes in doing so. I think Clockwork really kind of took his position, because Clockwork is just better at fighting to the runes. Slardar might get there faster, but the 4 position has kind of been warped into where you go from the mid lane, you go into the camp to stack, and then you go for the rune. And Slardar is very efficient for doing things like that. And also allows you to combine with certain off lanes. If S4 gets, let's say, a Darkseer, we're going to see the return of the Darkseer Slaughter lane. Darkseer in particular also combos amazingly well with Winter Wyvern.
That is certainly true. Obviously, Slaughter enables Roshan takes, even if you have cores that aren't that good at it. So it opens up the carry pool a little bit in that regard. As far as those cores go, the Ana Invoker is lurking out there. If that's something OG want to consider heading into Phase 2. But for now, HR, they'll make their second selection. They grab the early Night Stalker. This is often paired with a Bat Rider pick. We saw that earlier today, but the Bat is actually banned, so it could just be an a la carte Night Stalker as the 4 position. And, well, they'll take the Darkseer for themselves. So.
I wonder how much of this is they want the Darkseer and how much of this is taking it away from OG.
If they didn't really want it, they could ban it.
Ban it, yeah.
It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone this way. I mean, obviously, the Night Stalker Darkseer is a great dual diving duo. You know, you just get the double Ion Shell and you run at people.
Right.
Used to be Spirit Breaker was kind of filling that role, but Night Stalker with the new Hunter and the Knight just offers so much more. So, gives them a lot of aggression. Obviously, the Darkseer sets up for late game. I mean, still, they could go for something like the Shadow Fiend, if that's what HR have in mind. Interesting to see them step away from the 3-3 Clockwork, which had so much success earlier today, and even when they tried to run as a support for Milan. Seems like a comfort pick for HR, but maybe one they've lost faith in after that game.
Yep. Do you want to mention this is another Winter Wyvern first phase pick? I think this might be only like the 4th or 5th game ever. That's the case.
Yeah, EG picked it like 4th or 5th yesterday in their series versus Liquid.
OG's a team that actually picks it first phase so commonly. It's a hero that they're comfortable
OG just picks those types of supports early. Like they pick the Phoenix early, they pick the Wyvern early. They tend to prioritize Fly's heroes early in the draft, I think, a lot more than other teams.
Sure. We're going to see the PL ban. Definitely a hero that's quite annoying. OG, in fact, earlier today ran, I believe, a Brewmaster 4 position for Jirax.
10
Okay.
seconds
Quite the
remaining.
annoyance to... I mean, imagine Sven just getting like Drunken Haze and stuff like that from a
5
4. It's
seconds remaining.
pretty nasty.
It is very greedy. Like, that brew has to have a good start to be relevant later on, but if you can get away with it, obviously. It's
I
very-
mean, I think
very
OG
nice.
as a whole drafts pretty greedily. Like last game, we saw Phoenix, Enigma. These heroes don't do anything until you get farmed, but they have a lot of confidence in kind of directing the game state to one where they can get farm and can get some objective, despite having greedy heroes.
So OG looking for the bans here. Ban had a lot of carries. The Lycan, now the Sven. Interesting. I guess the Sven is pretty much the Slardar counter with the Warcry.
I think one hero that OG might want to consider is taking out a Slark. Not a hero that we see too often, but it's definitely one of the best carry hero that HellRaiser... Like, HellRaiser are Slark pickers, right? And so far, your 2 supports aren't great at dealing with Slark. Yeah, Slaughter could crush
HellRaisers
while
turn
Slaughter...
to ban.
Sorry, Slaughter could crush the Slark while he's in his Shadow Dance. But apart from that, he could, Dark Pack off of pretty much anything. And combines so well with Iron Shell. Iron Shell Slark has, wrecked a lot of teams in the past.
OGs turn
Definitely
to
could do a number here against OG, but they're going to take out the Ember instead.
I like this Ana Invoker ban. I think that just synergizes really well with what they already have. They need a pretty heavy carry. They've got tons of control, but not much damage. Invoker offers you that.
10 seconds
So, smart ban. Let's see now with OG having the pick.
remaining.
Oh, your screen is
5
still
seconds
black.
remaining.
I know. I should probably be casting off yours. Yeah, I tweeted out a picture of it earlier. My draft is...
Yeah,
everything is in shadows.
I replied to that tweet. I don't know if you saw it yet.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had the pleasure, but I'm sure I'll check it out later, Lumi.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll
you
be
will.
very dank.
It is stank indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, really, I guess the TLDR is it's the Dream Night Stalker game because everything is just darkness and shadows on my screen.
Yes. That is... They only play off of your screen, LD.
HellRaisers
Are we going to see any
turn
Pugna here, Lumi?
Pugna for HellRaisers?
Just for anyone. I mean, Pugna's been so popular for a lot of the teams in the tour.
They picked it earlier for Swift Ending. Had an amazing early game and then kind of just falled off.
Yeah, completely fell off, I would say.
10
Also, Void
seconds
being ignored
remaining.
this series. Void has been a very popular pick and ban
5 seconds
at
remaining.
the International 2017 so far.
Death Prophet.
Yeah, it's obviously someone who's great. It goes well with the amp damage for taking Roshan, gives you that objective taker. But they don't know... Normally, I feel like we see Death Prophet once you kind of know the matchup in the mid lane, and
Yeah.
that's definitely not the case yet.
I want to say, and don't quote me on this, that whenever they have Death Prophet, it's No-Tel playing at mid.
OGs
And they
turn
put
to pick.
Ana in the carry position.
All right.
I'm going to do a quick stat check on that.
The anti-physical damage pickup comes now.
Lich? Okay.
The Lich is grabbed. You see a Slardar. Obviously, the Frost Armor is great against him. You see a Death Prophet. Same is true there.
10
And
seconds remaining.
perhaps you see an opportunity to pull ahead in these lanes.
HellRaisers turn
I mean, I think their laning stage is pretty strong, honestly. You've got
Oh, God.
two heroes running around with the Ion Shells, and now you've got the Lich to get the experience advantage. But OG, they snag a hero that was banned last game. They're going to grab the Anti-Mage. Well, late game pretty secured.
10
Yeah.
Unless
seconds remaining.
HellRaisers pull something crazy out.
This, I mean, do you want to Pugna into this? On one hand, you get the early game dominance, you get the pushing. On the other, you're a walking mana bomb for the anti-mage to come in and wreck your whole team.
Yeah, I don't know if Pugna's the hero. Like, as far as a pushing hero goes, I think Dragon Knight, obviously not good against Death Prophet, but maybe you just send the Lich to try and help secure that lane.
Troll Warlord.
But I
okay.
do think you want to push. You want to be able to apply pressure to towers and constrict OG early. If AM's just allowed to free farm, eventually they're just going to take Roche with Slardar DP, and they don't have good catch for an AM right now. This Troll can man fight him. Troll is what, the lowest int game in the game, so he's not too worried about Mana Void.
Counter, got him.
Troll is the anti-mage counter. He's so stupid that anti-mage can't even scratch him. But obviously AM can just try and avoid fights with him.
Yep. Not gonna lie, I so far don't really see the synergy of the HellRaiser draft. I mean, I see a vacuum, but then no way to really combo. What are we comboing vacuum into? Range whirling axe, get that AoE slow out there. Obviously, you still have the Iron Shower early game on the Night Stalker. That's always good, but we need a. Because to me, the Darkseer pick is pretty much a waste. In fact, the Darkseer pick could be a liability. Anti-Mage love laning against Darkseer.
Yeah. Maybe you send the Lich there to try and shore that lane up, but
I actually think you send Lich and Tro there,
that could work.
and then you put the Darkseer.
Put the Darkseer safe lane. Night Stalker can roam.
Yeah,
10 seconds
OG
remaining.
may just play musical lanes at that point, but
sure.
yeah, I don't mind that
5
idea at all.
seconds
I
remaining.
think that's obviously the big benefit of the Lich pick, is it gives you that flexibility.
HellRaisers
So they'll want a mid.
turn
They'll want
to
someone that can ideally deal with anti-mage later on, or at least match up okay, and who can not get crushed by Death Prophet in lane. So preferably a ranged hero. Lina just got banned. Who else is there? There's Quap, Puck,
10
10 seconds
TA.
Although TA against Wyvern is a little bit
5
dubious.
seconds remaining.
Shadow Fiend again, I think it will be fine. You just want some sort of physical damage dealing mid that could push the building and pressure. OD, fine. Not as good at pushing building, but a lot better against dealing with the co-embrace.
Yeah, the ODA matchup is interesting, right? Because obviously OD's orb is amazing against the AM with all that pure damage, but on the flip side, he is a walking bomb as well for
Okay.
the Mana Void, so if you can get him low.
So I talked about the Brewmaster as a
So
4-position pick.
Is it an off-lane brew for S4, or yeah, as
It
a
seems
support
like it.
Slardar? Yeah. Okay.
Drunken Haze.
Well, this is ideally the counter to a troll lineup, right? Is getting a lot of evasion and mischance, so that all that attack speed doesn't matter because they're just missing you anyway. Can be really nice in a fight, like troll battle trances. You just cyclone him.
The danger with what's happening against OG is that I feel like the sacrifice for Lich is gonna be great. No matter what lane he's thrown in, whether it's anti-mage or brewmaster, they both will suffer not having enough creeps.
5
Although with that
seconds
said,
remaining.
I feel like brewmaster split is gonna go off pretty reliably. You're looking at Night Stalker as really the only real way to shut him down.
I feel like this OG lineup is super greedy. AM obviously needs a lot of time.
Yep.
Death Prophet is okay on her own in the lane, but still needs a ton of farm to be relevant later on. Wyvern needs a ton of experience, like very much like the Phoenix in that regard. The Slardar, I mean, he doesn't need items, but you at least want to get your level 6, get the amp damage, and Brewmaster is an offlaner that needs a blink to really be effective, or at least some sort of brawling item if you just want to run in. So one of those initiators is going to need that mobility item. This is, like, to me, 5 greedy heroes.
Yep.
And you're up against a Lich. So I actually, that said, OD's not the fastest hero in his own right, but I feel like this is a game where the Night Stalker and the Lich could have a big impact.
I mean, I agree with you that I think OG's got the way greedier draft, but it comes down to whether HellRaiser
For battle.
can punish them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last game, I want to say that OG has also got the greedier draft, but they weren't punished. So, all right, we're into game 2, where HellRaiser really needs to start winning some games.
Yeah, this is yesterday. You had a bad day. It's like, all right, we just have to recover and come back strong tomorrow. You have a bad day today, and it's like, all right, we have to win, or we might just be getting eliminated.
Yeah.
That is the position that they're in. Right
To be
now.
fair for HellRaiser, they only had one set of games yesterday against LFY, which was I guess the group leader. So
Mm-hmm.
no dishonor losing to LFY, but
No dishonor, but a loss is a loss, Luke.
Yeah.
But TI is not about honor. TI is about winning. Or going home
30
crying.
seconds to battle.
Which will it be? Will it be tears or joy?
I mean, right now it's about not losing out just in the group stage, right?
Mhm.
Making the phase 2, making it to the main event.
Ideally the upper bracket. I don't know that anything's more defeating than just losing those BO1s on the first day and going home. Probably the only thing worse is getting eliminated in the wild card in the old TI format.
Battle begins.
That's brutal. Suddenly, people are like, oh, it's a 2-week vacation. It's like, are you serious? If anyone's a competitor, They are borderline suicidal after watching other people play on that stage where they feel they could beat those players, beat those teams, do better, and just being spectators.
Do you like how they got rid of the wild cards
Yes.
in favor of just having more teams and playing it out?
I mean, I don't think it changes. There's like the group stage is basically too much Dota anyway, right? It's just like 4 games at once. The players can't even watch half the games. The casters can only, catch a few of them because they're constantly casting. Fans can't keep up. Even if you have 4 streams open, you're not really watching all 4 games at once. As like Jerax will manage to snipe the courier in the mid lane.
Nice.
I saw him going for it, but the courier was like hugging the left side, and he somehow still got it. Snuck around. But yeah, there's too much Dota anyway, so why not just add a couple more games, as you will suicide to the neutrals. And ensure that everyone gets a real fair shake. Like, at this point, no one can complain, oh, they got unlucky. Or maybe you face C-Deck in the wild card and you get eliminated, and that team actually is, a top 2 team at the TI.
LD, I don't know if you're new to this esport thing, but people always complain.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
FYI.
I'm a newbie. I mean, what can I say?
Oh, as a veteran here, let me tell you straight. People will complain.
I prefer the term savvy veteran.
Savvy.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bottom here, 33, gonna surge himself back out before anti-mage burns the rest of his mana, but the lane is pretty much control.
I mean, do you like this decision by HR? I know we talked about trying to send the Lich to the AM's lane, contest him. They have chosen to park the Lich mid initially and help out against Notel, give Kaiser that early edge.
I don't like their laning decision at all because, we
Like
talked about...
Darkseer just gets destroyed by AA.
Yeah, Darkseer gets destroyed, and S4 is getting too much from this lane. What the hell is Milan gonna do zoning him out?
I agree.
I mean, maybe once Swift Ending gets phase boots, he could solo zone S4. But then I think at that point the damage has already been done. Like, you've lost 2 lanes. And then, yeah, the mid lane is gonna be pretty much a wash here. Okay, Lich might be in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, Jerax trying to get in range here. If he gets this crush, it's likely a first blood, and he will find it. The Banish available! Kaiser doesn't use it. Probably dies anyway.
Yeah.
And they're just going to set up, but maybe Jerax also tanks some tower shots. At least.
Not worth the mana, he says.
Bad man. I was helping you win your lane. Yeah, I'm really not liking the laning setup. Like, right now, S4's having a pretty free lane top. He's already got 8 CS. He's well on his way to level 3. The AM's free farming as he's laning against the Darkseer. Like, if you make the move that we talked about from the start, have the Troll Lich bottom, AM's being contested. They can actually do something in that lane. The Brewmaster is against the Darkseer. He's not going to do much there. The lane's constantly going to be pushed, and the Darkseer can farm his jungle and the lane. That just would have been a far superior laning setup to me, and they're not even winning mid. The CS is even. The only thing you're really getting is you're denying Notel some levels. But, I mean, look at the experience. It's almost even between these two, because they're dual laning versus a solo. So yeah, I completely agree. I do not like the laning setup at all.
Yep.
And I'm surprised HR chose to lane it this way, to be honest.
The other big thing is that I feel like Milan's going to get somewhat stranded. This is what we see some teams having issues with their 4th position support. It looks good in the draft. They pick up things like Clock, they pick up things like Night Stalker, and then you realize, wait, I actually don't have any good lanes to gank. In actuality. And
look at the commitment here by Notel. Jerax finding that 2-hero crush gives them both the sucky, and the Spirit Siphon nets him a kill. Lich down again. This is just not working out at all for HR.
Kaiser's just straight up losing the lane despite having the Lich.
I think this is one of the hardest lane losses I have seen so far at TI. Like, down 2k gold already to an anti-mage draft with an off-lane Brewmaster and a Death Prophet mid. Like, these are all on the greedier end of cores, and they're all doing well. And the supports are getting a lot, and the courier even got sniped. Like, couldn't really be worse for HR, to be honest.
Well, Milan needs to do something magical, right? This is going to be his time to shine. He's only level 2. He does have the boots, but where is he going to get the kill? Gonna be mid? Notel, by the way, just behind the tower. So Fly is also behind the tower. They see J4, the sucky like you say, that is happening right now. Arctic Burn being applied.
Running right into the Jerax Slardar. He wants the 2-hero crush. He does get banished. But still the Lich down again. This tri-lane mid for OG. Certainly paying off. Kaiser trying to return fire as Jerax gets in on 33, tanking some Ion Shell. Is there a surge? Nothing doing. And meanwhile, Fire Courier going down again. Just walked into the middle lane and fed to Notel. That was their... They had the upgraded courier too. That was the flying courier, so they just lost track of it in the fight.
Yep.
Alright, that's like a 4k gold advantage now.
Milan TPs to the fight after the fight's been over. Like, imagine if he had a teleport score to the tier 1 as No-Tail dived. I think they might have got something out of that, but...
I honestly think HR's on tilt.
Oh, for sure they are.
Like, they're feeding the courier, they're not making lane adjustments, Milan's not carrying a TP. Honestly, I mean, it's been a rough start to the tournament for them. They are, what, 1-5?
Is it a careless feed or is it a CCNC feed? Which one is it?
I mean, it died in front of the tower with nobody there, so...
Well, we'll see.
I think that...
We'll leave it to your conclusions. As we have Fly coming in here in the air against Kaiser. Kaiser, Magic Wand's up, Self-Astros. His teammates are coming in here. They want No-Tail.
Jerax is waiting, though. Gonna try to cut him off, at least ensure he doesn't give pursuit. Milan unable to find a kill. OG just seem a little more organized in all of these skirmishes. 4 HR heroes down below half HP. No one from OG dead.
Wait.
Milan is going to try for it, but hey, simple TP out after the Void. See you later. And all the while, there's an anti-mage free farming bottom, 45 and 22. A Brewmaster who hasn't even really gotten into the game yet.
He's going straight Blink.
He's going straight Blink, and he's almost level 6. As Jerax even thinks about going for that additional kill, but Milan's gonna find him. No, doesn't like the look of this, and so just crush and sprint away. They're just getting styled on.
Yeah, they are. I guess this is where LD asked me, what can they do to come back? I don't know. It's just
they need some Lumi's tough love right now. No-Tail is gonna commit the exorcism here. Looks like they want to try to apply pressure to this tier 1 on the back of that kill, but Jerax will be caught out, run down by the double ion shells. Decisive kills for OG. Probably not going to be a very effective exorcism. Does he really want to commit on this tower? There's 3 heroes nearby, and No-Tail should know it. He saw 2 bottom. He knows the OG's mid. The one he didn't see is J4 coming around from behind, but he might get surrounded and punished. Jerax comes in, cutting him off at the pass with the Void. The follow-up ion shell, they get the kill. A bit over-ambitious from Mr. No-Tail. Now a double. This is the type of fight that can get HR back in the game.
More?
2, maybe 3. It all started with the Death Prophet in too deep, and it's going to end with a triple for the Darkseer. Just like that, halfway to a mech if that's what he wants.
But on the back line here, Brewmaster comes in with the one-man clap. Nice micro by the TI champ, and he is going to run down Kaiser. Pretty sure another
boulder toss. Follow-up comes through.
They got the tornado.
They have the damage. Cyclone, Dispel. Another boulder when he hits the deck. Immolating, still not dead.
Wait! And he doesn't get it.
Not quite.
Yeah, unfortunate. Maybe he could have put the Earth Bruling a little bit further on up.
OD has really high armor, 10 armor, so...
Yep.
Like, you're basically just doing the burn damage to him.
He could have wind-walked with his
Still, he's got the blink now, so that's the big thing. And again, remember, there's one here on OG that's just sitting in his lane farming. Now, granted, the troll is doing the same, but if you're trading free farm, like, you'd much rather have the AM free farming.
I mean, that troll better be, like, walking around getting everything done. I don't know. He's going for the standard Mask of Madness. I feel like it's going to be a while before Troll is going to impact this game.
Honest, 2/3 of the way to a battlefield. So he's on a great pace here.
And Troll's going to get countered by Drunken Haze, so...
It's okay. AM will get countered by bashes, Lumi.
Okay. I'm down for that. That's
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's indeed the case. Ana ports up top. Gonna start pressuring this building.
So, first nighttime over. They got a decent amount done. Still OG holding a sizable lead. They did get some deep wards up here as Jerax snakes around. He's going to try to set up on 33. Coming in as well is S4. Blink is cooling down, but he gets the Drunken Haze off. Jerax whiffs the crush.
Expecting 33 to surge all the way down face.
Kaiser wanting to fight this. Not quite yet.
Do they know that he has Blink? I'm not sure whether he...
I mean, he threw the Drunken Haze at him, so if they clicked him, they definitely should have.
Now they definitely do.
If OG really wanted to, they could have just waited like a half second, been a little more patient, but end of the day, they're getting this tower mid. That's a big opening for them. Sets up potentially the future Roshan. Meanwhile, HR looking for their own towers, but it's kind of slow going. Ana's also pushing this top lane. And during the daytime, he is unafraid of Milan. Blinks in, chews up all his mana, threatens with the Void even. freely cutting the wave. 600 gold away from a Battle Fury. You're looking at, what, an 11-minute Battle Fury? With all the accoutrements, all the little accessories. Bottom lane, though, grabs an opening. 33 on the sprint, gets caught by the boulder toss, and now into the crush, surrounded and beaten down by an army of angry pandas. He will perish. And all space created, really, for the anti-mage end of the day.
Yep.
He is just happily farming jungle creeps, being about as efficient as you could possibly expect for Ana. 8+ CS a minute right now.
That is really impressive. Pretty much meaning that he's missing nothing. Which I guess, you know.
And he's farming the jungle, and that's all without the Battle Fury, too.
Yeah.
It's uncontested, right? Like, this is the big downside to the way the laning setup went.
It's not that, it's just that Anti-Mage is uncontested, and Brewmaster got a lot, right? Like,
that lane swap, I honestly think, like
what did the Lich actually do this
lanes
game?
Instead of losing them 2 lanes.
Right. The Lich, to me, just fed mid, and that's not what you picked the Lich for.
Tough situation that HR struggled to battle back from is every single core is being outstripped and outfarmed by his counterpart. Even the OD, who got all that early help mid, he's gone double bracer here. As Swift Ending tries to duke it out with Ana, but Fly is in position. Not yet level 6. Mana Void is available, but Troll's mana pool is so pitiful that it probably wouldn't be enough for the kill anyway. Secret counter to AM, as we touched on earlier. But that's...
LD, you've done it. You broke Dota. You figured it out.
Yes. Why has nobody been picking Troll to counter anti-mage, guys? Look at that int. 21 int. That's pathetic.
I think PA is also up there, or rather down there.
Down there.
When it comes to int gain. Also very good against the anti-mage.
But yeah, see, the issue is, like, they committed all this, they committed a lot of resources, right, putting the Lich mid to help the OD, and he doesn't even go Midas. Like, he's not even going greedy. He's going for a very utility build. So HR is really setting this game up that they have to have a good, let's call it 15 to 25 minutes. And I just think that's, OG's lineup is already online, you know?
Yep.
They already have a very strong 4 Protect 1, so if you're going to commit the Lich mid, I think with the way the lane's, you have to be greedier and try and squeeze a Midas in to have any shot late.
Yeah, and I don't count on OG giving them the freebie 1x1x1 that they just did like 5 minutes ago. OG, they recognize they have the anti-mage. All they have to do is chill, play the game slow. Don't get pressured in by the Night Stalker, and you're fine. In fact, this Night Stalker, I don't think have done enough.
Yeah, Milan, I think you pointed out early, didn't have that TP for that first rotation, and that first night is very important for a Night Stalker. The second night, I think those are by far the most 2 important nights. All the others are, you know, at that point the game's already been, the tempo's been set, the advantage is claimed one way or the other, and you know, your vision can still turn a late game team fight, but lower chance of it being as important. So to me, like, you compare that to what Jarex did on, you know, not on a Night Stalker, but another similar roaming hero in the last game, and it's night and day.
Yeah, like this game even, he's sniping Courier, setting multiple kills on the mid lane. Roshan gonna get claimed here by OG, so another checkbox ticked here for the 4 more boys in green.
There's a lot of checks right now. Yeah, what are they now? The boys in blue and red? There's too many boys in blue.
Boys with wings.
Well,
They will lose the Aegis immediately, and now the Centaur finds S4 in the back, and he's trapped him in as well. No Blink ultimate. A pretty good kill if you ask me for HellRaiser.
yeah, free takedown on the DP. Swift Ending, looking to make a Swift Ending up this tower, but again, it is on the top lane already, cutting the waves, threatening to take this tier 2 out as they are just thinking about a tier 1. There is no mana on the Brewmaster. S4 is going to get just enough with those bottle charges from his friend, Mr. No-Tail, to have the split ready. J4 lurks in the trees, but while they're scrambling to try and take down just the tier 1 mid, Ana is just getting free damage in top, wailing away at this tower. OD will arrive. And does have the Atos soon, so like a small snare, I guess, to try and deal with him, but still, anti-mage just breaking in the gold. There is no Frost Nova available, and that means diving time on J4. Gets caught by the Death Prophet Spirit Siphon, quickly dealt with. Now 33 in trouble, as they do commit the Brewmaster split. He worms his way into the trees, trying to get back out, but caught with The Cyclone to start, the spell to follow, the crush off the mark, but doesn't even seem like it's going to matter as the Boulder Smash is there. Enough damage from the Spirit Siphon, he still ends up going down. The Wyvern was clipped on the backside, so HR got a small retaliation, but again, they are fighting 5v4.
Wait,
Ana is
Notel?
farming. They got to get more out of this.
Notel poured it out in front of the OD. OD, I guess, didn't see him in the fog or something.
It's also nighttime.
Yeah. I do want to point out the build that 33 has went for. He's taking a page out of Ice Ice's playbook. When Helm of the Dominator has been very popular, he got it on pretty much every single offlane hero. And in Darkseer in particular, very good. You could put the Iron Shell on one of the big creeps, have them farm for you. You could accelerate your farm in both the lane and in the jungle. And he's been using it to battle. We saw earlier just now the Iron Shell onto the Centaur, walk up to the Wyvern, got off a stun, and just essentially solo killed him with the creep. Pretty
He's
good
really
stuff.
not very farmed for that, though. He's only got 73 CS, which, I mean, I think for Darkseer going this build, if you're envisioning it helping you farm, is pretty mediocre. He has fought a lot.
It's kind of like a mini Midas, but also gives you a little bit more benefits. It's not something that you'd be like, oh god, I got a Midas or anything like that, but it's a little bit extra. But at the same time, it does delay your mech, which...
Do you think if he had gone mech, for example, like they'd be in a better position to take some of these fights right now? Or
I don't think
do you
so.
think the Dominator's paying for itself and the better value?
I think it'll pay for itself eventually, and I don't think the mech would have like changed the outcome of the last fight, for example.
Ana now Yasha up, Manta coming soon, so that Ato's gonna have a pretty limited, period of usefulness. I suppose for other heroes it'll continue to be more relevant, but all the core is starting to slip in net worth. No one went greedy on HR, and they're just not able to find that many fights. Like, there's one tower been taken. They haven't been able to walk into the Roche pit. It just really does feel like somehow OG know what they're up to. They're one step ahead of them. When they make a move, they get a kill or a courier or a tower. And they also dodge the fights when they're not in position to do so. They'll now grab that tower top. Again, response is a bit lacking. HR trying to even take the tier 1, but still OG may come and defend this. If they do isolate Fly, that would be a big pick-off, though. Fly not dead just yet. In comes Jared with the crush. Now the clap follow-up. Locking down Milan. They're going to finish off the Night Stalk, and the Exorcism deployed. The Bruce split online as well. And now, look at the Cyclone Panda chasing forward, trying to hunt down Swift Ending. Will they be able to keep the vision on him? They're expecting him to cut to the north. He heads south. Doing so probably gets away, but down goes the OD once again. They're forced to scatter to the jungle, but no such scattering for OG. They just walk straight down mid. They go straight for another big objective. Maybe the bashes will be with Swift Ending. He gets one. Needs probably one or two more. They could potentially back it back in. Well, the Blink's so cold after the first hit bash. No. It's basically got to be that perfect, that lucky.
And now Jirax in position to perhaps set up a fight. No, he actually gets caught on the left side. It's going to go down, not before he takes the Ruin, though. S4 comes back in. Anti-Mage pops a Mantis out. Chain Frost is going to be available as well. Mana Void got a Magic Stick, but here comes a good curse. I think it was on the Centaur, of all things. Fly on the backside. Looks like he's going to get caught out. OG, this might not be the fight that they're looking for. Fly goes down as well. Notel comes back in, but here comes a big S4 clap. They see Kaiser isolated. They can burn his mana very quickly. He's getting the sucky. Kaiser should go down, get silence on top of him. They need a little bit more. They will get it. Notel now under fire, but he's very tanky because he has a solo quest already. Now here comes Ana blinking forward. He wants to kill on Swift Ending, but Swift Ending making it to the shrine, pops a whirling axis, ring around the Rosie, but I think he ultimately will get chased down.
OG set up, and with the Cyclone then into a clap, he falls as well. I mean, it felt like an okay fight. Ana Mana Voided a troll. That basically did nothing.
Yep.
And
they cursed the Centaur.
Actually blinked away. They cursed the, I believe, yeah, like you said, cursed the Centaur. It was a pretty discombobulated fight. They didn't even have Exorcism for it. And they still can't take the fight. It doesn't feel like HR have the firepower. Lumi, barring a godly Chain Frost, they don't even have a point in the wall yet, so they don't even have the Anti-Mage Illusion to work with. They're just really behind. You're just under-farmed, under-leveled especially. And you kind of see it there, that OG can get away with a subpar fight and still take it.
Yep. Up by 14 net worth, 14k net worth now. Anti-Mage, no counter in sight. I mean, once Ana just picks up the butterfly, the game is effectively over. I mean, you could make the argument that the game is already over, but that will be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, with a loss here, HR would drop to what is it, 1-6?
1-5.
Well, sorry, 1-5. I think I gave them an extra loss earlier. We started the cast.
That's how the international work. And LD just has a slip, just hands out losses. I don't like you. You get.
This is so bad. You get a double loss. But it's gonna be one win, and then every other game has been lost. I think 1-5 is right.
Their win was against.
Yeah, they were 1-3 coming into the series. They'd be 1-5. OG would be 6-2. So at that point, OG's in a decent position. They played. Who'd they play so far? That was like a tougher opponent.
They 2-0 Cloud9.
They played Secret, right?
They 1-1 DC, 1-1 Newbie.
Okay. Maybe
Secret's in a different game.
Oh, I'm thinking of Blue. Alright, so No-Tail dropping now. The Exorcism, the Chain Frost comes in from downtown. J4 trying to chase him out, but they've committed a big ult already. No-Tail hides in the trees. He gets off the silence. Kaiser does not have a way to remove this. He's getting jumped and controlled for now. From the side comes the Brewmaster split, isolating the troll, throwing OD up in the air so they can focus on other targets, and that sets up Jirex. Comes in, all head full of steam, and gets the double hero crush. Now the chase is on for Swift Ending as well, and he's cut off on the other side by Ana, who came in late to the fight, cleaning up the troll. The OD gonna fall as well. That's 3 down. Everything they had committed in this fight, aside from the OD ult, and they still get run over. OG are already rushing towards the tier 4s, but they'll back off for the lower hanging fruit now. A follow-up crush, the back is there, but that's it. Still no point in the wall yet, and 33 might live to regret it. Sliced and diced. Anti-Mage chews him up, spits him out. Already closing in on said Butterfly at 3,800 gold. GG, OG. One of the quickest series of the international group stage so far.
Yep.
Feels like an hour in total for both games.
The impressive thing is that they were able to have a 22-minute victory with the anti-mage pick, and that just means they just outplayed them. Very same storyline as